And we're waiting for everybody to come on. Yeah, go heading down. We do not be attached to us.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. It's so good to see you all here to join with you. Welcome to July. It's hard to believe that we are, we are here. And we are so delighted to be able to join together, as we always do on Friday night, to be able to join together here as, to gather together as community and see each other's faces and spend a little bit of time together celebrating the light of Shabbat, the light of blessing that fills all of our lives and that we can certainly feel in this moment as we come together. So speaking of, we have two lights, Abby and Ethan, who celebrated their birthday this week, 2 days apart from each other. And so we've asked the Torkian family to join us and to lead us in the kindling of Shabbat lights. So if you have your own Shabbat lights, I invite you to go near them now, and we'll join together.
Thank you so much for honoring us in this event. We appreciate it, and we look forward to lighting the Shabbat candles with you guys. Thank you. Should we begin? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mitzvah Shabbat. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Amen.
No, it's amen. Not amen.
Amen.
So we turn towards welcoming Shabbat now that we've lit the candles. We do what the mystics of Tzvat would do, which was not wait for Shabbat to come to them, but rush out towards Shabbat to greet Shabbat and welcome Shabbat into their lives and into their community, which is what we will do as we join together in the Chadodi.
Don't worry. And you have it.
God.
If you are seated and wish to do so, unable to do so, we invite you to rise where you are as we join together now in the Baruch Hu. The great Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, who famously said of his march with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., "I felt as if my feet were praying," taught us all with the actions of his life about responsibility. Our obligation is not just to hear words of Torah, but rather to be words of Torah, as was Rabbi Heschel. Our obligation as ones committed to Jewish values is to take responsibility for the world around us. That responsibility begins with the acknowledgement of God's oneness, of which we are all just a small part, responsible to and for each other. With the words of the Shema, we acknowledge our responsibility to bear witness through the pursuit of justice and acts of compassion. It is in these acts that we bring to life the words that we now recite. And again, if you would like to, I'll invite you to please rise. be seated and we'll continue together with the words of Ve'ahavta, which express some of the ways, some of the actions through which we can express our belief in that oneness in which we are all bound together.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
In his book, To Heal a Fractured World, Rabbi Jonathan Sachs teaches each of us about the importance of action. While contemplation is important and study is, of course, vital, the most sacred work of all, the avodah, the sacred work, is to be found in getting our hands dirty as we work to raise up all who have fallen, all in need of our support and care and comfort. It is to this work that we are beckoned by the words that we join in now, words once sang on the shore of the sea, words that one day, God willing, we will all sing again as one humanity united under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
מי חמור זה לי הנובע מרוח אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
At this part of our service, we turn to words that pray that we be protected by a Sukkat Shalom, a sukkah of peace. Certainly all of us are feeling the need for that sukkah, comforting us and protecting us as we prepare to celebrate together the 4th of July tomorrow. And so as we prepare to join in the words of Hashkivenu, asking for God's shelter and protection, we offer this prayer for our country. Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in the darkness.
שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים ועל כל עמו ועל ירושלים שלום ועל ירושלים ועל כל עמו ועל ירושלים שלום. ארוך אתה אדוני הפורץ סוכת שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל. שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל.
On the next several slides, we turn to the Amidah. And so in a moment, we'll ask you to please rise if you would like, if you are able, where you are. And we will begin with these words and then continue ourselves with the words on the next few pages, silently, quietly to ourselves, or with the thoughts and contemplations of your own hearts. As we do so, as has been our custom during these days, invite you, if you would like, to place any blessings that you would like into our chat box as well. And so now, if you're able, I invite you to please rise.
שפתי תפתח
So we've just taken a moment, hopefully, as we offered our blessing through the Amidah, through our central and standing prayer of our service, to offer blessings to the Holy One and to offer blessings to one another. During this particular moment that we're experiencing, offering blessings sometimes is difficult. And this piece that you're about to hear that takes us out of the Amidah, Ve'al Kulam, I thought was particularly appropriate for this moment because it means for everything. And when we experience both the difficult and the beautiful, we can hold them together in our hearts and offer blessings for all that we experience.
Beautiful. When we turn to thoughts of those that we hold dear in our heart, to those who we hold in our hearts and our minds who are suffering illness of body or mind or spirit. We pray for their healing. We pray for all our healing in this challenging time. And so I invite you, before we join together in the words of Misha Berach, if you would like, you can unmute yourself and share with us the names of those for whom you are praying for their healing this Shabbat. Of course, as always, you can place their names in our chat box as well.
I want to say Errol Miller, Jack
Pete
Tyler,
Ratner.
Mogilensky,
Dr. Nan Zaitlin,
Bert Messer and Marshall
Ray
Moore.
Hirsch, Rabbi Morley.
Rabbi Morley.
We invite you to continue to place names in our chat box if you would like as we join together in the words of Misha Berach. The book of Numbers is filled with the adventures and mishaps of the Israelites in their several decade journey from Sinai towards the promised land. As we gaze on these stories, what is reflected back to us often are the stories of our own individual and communal adventures and mishaps on our own journey. And of course, this week is no exception. Our combined portion of Chukat and Balak offer up much to chew on and to digest. There is the enigmatic discussion of the red heifer, whatever that is all about. Both Miriam and Aaron die in these week's portions, and Moses defies God's command and in anger strikes a rock to produce water. There's much to consider in each of these stories and so much more, but as we stand here on this Erev Yom HaAtzmaut, on this eve of our own Independence Day, I am particularly taken by what I find in another story, that of Balak, the king of Moab, and the sorcerer that he employs to curse the Israelite nation camped within his borders. The king brings the sorcerer Balaam to three different vantage points overlooking the Israelite encampment below, and each time the sorcerer is asked to proffer a curse. But as you likely know, he fails. Instead of a curse, all he can verbalize is blessing. One of these blessings, interestingly, has become a significant component of our own morning liturgy. Ma tovu ohalecha, Yaakov, mishkanotecha, Israel. How lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, Israel. Now, if you would allow me just a brief detour, these words are in fact an alternative method for making sure you have a minyan of 10. 10 people, a minyan, which is of course the official definition of a community and necessary in some circles for the recitation of Kaddish. With these words of blessing, we count. Ma, to, vu, o, halecha, Yaakov. 10 syllables. And we count individuals and make sure that we have a minyan. And if that's not enough, if you add the syllables of the next phrase, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, you have 18. The number representing Chai, 8 and 10. Of course, the Hebrew word for life. Talk about an important blessing offered by this sorcerer. How interesting that the words of a non-Jew, a sorcerer no less, have become such an integral part of our liturgy. We have here a significant story about perception, about not only what we see, but how we see it. The sorcerer looks out upon a scene that King Balak can only perceive as filled with curse. But what Balaam sees is simply blessing. Blessings of beauty, of possibility, of potential, of hope, blessings of life. And that is all that he can express. As I imagine him standing at his high vantage place, looking out on the Israelite nation, I wonder, what would Balaam see were he to gaze out from some equal vantage point across our nation on this eve of the 4th of July? Would he be able to say, Ma tovu ohalecha, George Washington, mish kenotecha, Abe Lincoln? Our nation seems unduly cursed in this moment, doesn't it? As if somehow with our nation, King Balak succeeded. We are overwhelmed by virus, fractured by discord, torn asunder by rage and mutual distrust. Where is the source of blessing? Where is the place of compassion and understanding? Where is the one who can stand up and proclaim, America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. I need not tell you that this July 4th finds us at an incredibly challenging moment, a moment for each of us to take stock, to stand at a high vantage point and consider what it is that we see. What is our vision for our nation? Where do we see promise and possibility, hope and blessing? Because as you all well know, 4 months from this day, we will each have the opportunity to stand with Balaam, to look over our encampment and express through our ballot our vision for the future. Which issues best reflect your vision of America the Beautiful, of a land of liberty and justice where God's grace shines upon us all? Are we headed in the right direction? How do we move ourselves closer to that vision of liberty and justice for all? I have to say, for me personally, in my lifetime, I can't remember a more crucial and defining moment in our country. Therefore, never has it been more vital for each and every citizen of this country to have the opportunity to exercise their franchise and express themselves at the ballot box this November. That is why over these coming months, University Synagogue will be partnering with the Religious Action Center and the Union for Reform Judaism in Every Voice, Every Vote, the Reform Movement's civic engagement campaign. And I'm delighted that we have with us this evening the chair of our Tikkun Olam Committee, Stephen Goldsobel, and member of our Tikkun Olam Committee, Michael Chaskis, who are with us to share a little bit more about this project in which we will be involved, and how each of us can be involved in transforming this vital national moment indeed into a moment of blessing for us all. Stephen, Michael?
Good evening.
Michael, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, for Rabbi. From the Talmud, a ruler is not to be appointed unless the community is first consulted. No matter what your political views, most people will agree that this November's election is the most pivotal of our lifetimes, a stark choice between two very different visions of America. It will determine not just who will occupy the White House, but also who will control the Senate and the House, who will serve in any number of state and local offices, and here in California, which of a dozen voter initiatives and constitutional amendments will pass into law. With such stakes, it's critical for us as Reform Jews to do three things: vote without fail if we are eligible to do so, help ensure that other eligible Americans may exercise their vote, and educate ourselves about the issues on the ballot. Why is voting a Jewish concern? The Union for Reform Judaism's Religious Action Center, or RAC, explains, as the Reform movement works to fulfill the sacred mandate of Tikkun Olam, world repair, voter engagement is essential. As Jews and Americans, we have an obligation to participate in elections to ensure the policies at the local, state, and national levels bring us closer to achieving our vision of a world where all people experience wholeness, justice, and compassion. To ensure that our voices and commitment to social justice are heard in the public sphere, we must educate ourselves on the voting process, register, and show up at the polls. To this end, the RAC is undertaking a nationwide, nonpartisan civic engagement campaign called Every Voice, Every Vote. Its first goal is to make every Reform synagogue in America a 100% voting congregation in which every eligible congregant is registered to vote and casts their ballot. Its second goal is to join the RAC's partner organization, the Center for Common Ground, in reaching out to communities of color in 6 voter suppression states, where millions of voters have been purged from the rolls or deregistered, and providing them with information on how to re-register to vote. And here in California, Reform synagogues will be educating their congregants about 3 key voter initiatives that will appear on our November ballots. So these efforts provide us, the congregants of University Synagogue, with some important and valuable opportunities. First, every member household can anticipate receiving outreach in coming weeks from our Tikkun Olam committee. We'll provide information about how you and your family members can register to vote if you're eligible but not yet registered, and about the importance of making your voice heard at the polls this November. Second, we're inviting all congregants to join us as volunteers for online postcarding parties in the coming months. These are easy and fun events where we can meet virtually to write postcards to deregistered voters out of state, have some social time together, and enjoy some fun activities as well. Finally, as we get closer to the election, we'll have a chance to discuss some of the propositions on the state ballot and how they do or don't align with our values and ideals as Reform Jews. We hope you'll join us enthusiastically in all aspects of the Every Voice, Every Vote effort. We may not be able to leave home much these days, but even from our living room couches, kitchen tables, and study desks, we can make sure our voices and our values are heard and felt in every corner of California and the nation. I'm putting my and Steve's email addresses into the chat box. We encourage you to drop either or both of us a quick line and let us know you'd like to participate, and we'll send you more information on how you can get involved. Thanks so much, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Stephen and Michael. Thank you, Michael, so much for that. This November will provide each of us a vital moment and a crucial choice. Based on our vision and based on the values of our tradition. In 1893, Catherine Lee Bates stood atop another mountain, one very precious to me actually, Pikes Peak, and gazed out across the plains in front of her. And out of her mouth came words of blessing with which you are so familiar, which we will hear now. I pray that they will inspire us all this 4th of July as we consider our role in preserving America, the beautiful.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves on green, for purple mountains, majesties above the His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, their country loved, and mercy more than life.
Thank you, Susan and Cantor, for that beautiful, beautiful rendition of America the Beautiful. It is a reminder to all of us of the words we are about to say in the way that we have been saying them over these last several weeks. Aleinu, the word Aleinu means it is on us. And it is on us to do what we must to create the world we envision, create the world that our tradition envisions based on our values, on Jewish values. And so we rise now. If you are able, I invite you to please rise as we join together in the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol. Aleinu, it is on us to bow in praise before God. As a sign of reverence and perhaps submission, it is on us to bend our knees only in reverence for life and only for submission to that which is good.
Aleinu, it is on us. Our sages teach that the angels have no knees. Their legs do not bend. They do not need knees because their entire purpose is to stand tall before God in service. But we are not these kinds of angels. We bend under the weight on our shoulders. We let this twisted world twist us into knowing that our service to God comes not only in the form of thoughts and prayers, but in the form of action.
Aleinu, it is on us. Va'anachnu korim. We bend at the knee. Umishtachavim. We bow at the waist. Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim. We stand straight before God. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We who are made in God's image must be holy because God is holy. So we rise to repair this very broken world. We stand straight because we can. We stand up because we must.
Aleinu, it is on us. We bend our knees before the God of love, in devotion and in disruption, in protest and in praise, from shame to shlemut, wholeness. We rise before the God of truth to march and to move, to bend this broken arc toward justice.
Aleinu, it is on us. Bent knees are for showing reverence, to prostrate in peaceful protest, to prepare us for moving, to prepare us for marching. Bent knees are not for killing. God did not make knees or any other part of us for that. Aleinu, it is on us.
V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
We turn now to words of remembrance. Remembering that it is on the shoulders of those who came before us that we stand. Remembering that it is on us because of them. Because of what they have given to us, it is on us to move forward, to sanctify life, to bring blessing into the world. And so we remember as motivation to move forward, to make the world more sacred, more holy, and more whole. We begin tonight by first extending our heartfelt condolences to University Synagogue board member Abby Hertz, her husband David, and children Mara and Judah on the loss of Abby's father, J. Daniel Hertz. And we remember as well those who have lost loved ones in recent days, who find themselves in the period of Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning, or Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. We remember my mother, Kathy Lutz, mother as well of Debbie, my wife, my sister Shari, her husband Marshall, grandmother to Adam and Emma, to Jeremy, Emily, Gabby, Aaron, Isaac, Heath, Rachel, Lauren, and Josh, and great-grandmother to Ruby. We remember George Topas, cousin of Fern Topasalka, Harold Weisfeld, father of Lindy Weisfeld Kaufman, grandfather of Chloe and Haley, and Ann Werwand, grandmother of Raymond, and Jane Werwand, grandmother Molly, and Lucy. And we call to mind as well those whose yahrzeit falls on this Shabbat, the anniversary of their passing on this Shabbat. We remember Maurice Abamayor, William Adler, Eleanor Kesselman, Henrietta Cohen, David Edson, Malcolm Fleischer, Willard Freeling, Harry Gee, Lawrence Gingold, Narani Golshani, William Gottschalk, Minnie Gutterman, Irving Herman, Perry Jacobs, Peter Leibowitz, Rose Miner, Mary Miner, Annette Ruskin, Miriam Sanders, Michael Sandler, Marina Shabatal, Shaban Shirian, Roseanne Silverman, Max Sobel, Paul Weingarten, and Bernard Whitland. Of all of our loved ones, we say Zichronam Livracha. If the name of your loved one was not mentioned, I invite you, before we say Kaddish, if you'd like to unmute yourself and share their name with us, or to type their name into our chat box, and then we will join together. Again, Zichronam Livracha, may their memory be for blessing. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divrach Yehutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. V'agalau v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olamei almaya. V'yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit adar v'yit alev v'yit halal shemei v'kudsha barechu. Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush v'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran v'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim alein ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all the bereaved among us. And we say, Amen. So, from across the room, I invite my bride to join me, as tomorrow we celebrate 35 years. So we have the sweetness of many blessings to share, and are delighted to be able to share them all with you, to share this blessing and sweetness of this Shabbat with each of you. Invite you to join with us in Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah banu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hikilanu zikaron lema'aseh b'reishit kihu yom tefilah Lemikra Kodesh Zecher Letziat Mitzrayim Kibanu v'charta V'tanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kodshecha Ve'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim, Shabbat Shalom. So we are very lucky to be able to share our anniversary with someone else who's going to lead us in Motzi.
Okay.
Oh, look.
Okay.
We're going to toast you first. Happy anniversary.
anniversary.
L'chaim.
You too.
So apparently to be clergy at University Synagogue right now, this has to be a special weekend in your life. Scott and I are celebrating our 20th anniversary. You have a few years on us.
We're learning from you.
So let's join together in thanking God for bringing forth sustenance. We all need it. Those of us who are married, those of us who aren't, especially at this moment in time, I think we need sustenance in our lives. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Hi.
Yeah. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
We're going to go back to where we began with this beautiful melody with which we began Shabbat. We will conclude this evening.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. In front of you are a few upcoming events coming up this weekend and into next week. Actually, I think we have a special Shabbat next week. Yes, Camper? Is it next week?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Camp Shabbat.
We're going to join together with communities all over the West Coast, all over the West. Yes? As Camp Newman. For those of you who haven't had the opportunity to ever be at camp for Shabbat, being at camp for Shabbat is unbelievable. There are no words to describe. But we invite you to join us next week as Camp Newman will be leading the whole West in Shabbat together. And you'll find information about that coming up soon in your emails and on our website, and look forward to the opportunity of sharing that with you as well, of course, as everything happening this weekend, including beginning your day with Torah study tomorrow, and then, of course, celebrating the 4th of July. I want to wish everyone a wonderful Shabbat and a wonderful weekend, a good celebration. Everybody, please stay safe and stay healthy. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We're unmuted. Oh, good Shabbos, everyone.
Good job.
Good Shabbos to all.